when I lost my first job, what I did was that it kicked into my head that, come to think of it, my boss who fired me was just 5 years older than I was. Then I was about 22. My boss was about 27 or thereabout. And he had started his business about 3 years before that time. Something kicked and said to me, what's wrong with you? This guy started his business when he was young, probably about your age. And right now he's just hired you and fired you. You can be a hire of labor. You can start something by yourself. And that, it kind of come to think of it. Wow. I can do something. So I started. Now, it was humbling for me. But I said to myself, after about 2-3 days of sobbing and sulking, I said, well, then it occurred to me that while I was working in the complex, there was a bakery where I used to get my breakfast loaf of bread. And they have this small loaves of bread they make for burger, for people who make burgers. So I said to myself, come to think of it, what can I do? So I went, looked at my little salary savings, and started buying loaves of bread, burger bread, and I'll take it to another part of my city where there are a lot of fast food companies that need this loaf of bread. And I will just go from door to door and sell this thing, and that's how I survived. So that caught me to say, well, come to think of it, job loss doesn't mean a loss of your life. Okay? You can get your sanity back, you can start something. Okay? So it's an opportunity sometimes to also do what you've dreamt of. Sometimes people have had little ideas that they want to execute, but because they didn't have time, because their job had taken the whole of their time. So right now that they have this gap, they can fit into it and say, well, maybe I need to start my hand on that. So it's in two ways. Either you never had an idea of anything happening, you weren't expecting it, or you had some ideas of things you could do before. It gives you an opportunity to actually try your hands on them. Okay, so even though the job is gone, okay, but you can start something new. Okay, you can actually kick in, and the Lord God will help you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in your case, you took advantage of some business that was very near where you already
Yes.
were, and then you started the little trading. What about for people who maybe they've been paid a little bit of gratuity? I don't know. Maybe they've paid them something.
Yeah.
Well,
there are people like that.
Right.
They get fired from a job that was well paying, and they give them a severance package. I think that's what it's called.
Yes.
They give them a severance package.
Right.
Now, what of the worst thing you can do to yourself is to hastily jump into a business that you didn't have a business plan or you didn't dream of before or you planned about. People have sunk their old savings and their old severance package just by being hasty. You don't want to go into something new. You want to wait. You want to put your life in the hand of God. You want to cast your care upon the Lord, and He will take care of it. I can never overemphasize that. Then you need to sit down with your spouse, okay, if you are married, or sit down with your friends and tell them, guys, what do you think I should be doing now? Okay, and then you allow time to be. Let it cool. Okay, don't be in a hurry so that you don't lose the little money you have saved up or you have been given as a severance package. Okay, but in the meantime, like I said, okay, try and see, well, what can I put my money into some trading. Okay, I buy a piece of stuff here and I sell it here, which is what I was doing.
That's like a portion of your savings.
A little bit of your portion. Yeah. Make it things that are harmless, that you can still use if you don't get to sell.
Yes.
Shirts, ties, in my case, loaves of bread. Sometimes I didn't exhaust selling those loaves of bread. I ate them for dinner. But you see, there is no excuse. You can really survive. You need to just think on your feet, okay, and start something little, okay, so that you have a little bit. If I ever went into food cooking, I cooked food. Yeah, I cooked raw food. People came to buy food from me. I became a chef, put on stuff, and man, I'm telling you, whatever I did not finish exhausting selling, I ate for dinner. End of story. I'm telling you, you just have to find a way around this thing. It doesn't waste. Yeah. So that's it. So I think it's something people can do. Okay, right. But majorly again, God will help you.
Now you've given us very practical steps of what we can do. These are external things. What about what happens within us? How can we handle the emotional toll of a job loss?
There are 8 things I can recommend. On the top of my head, but I'll probably want to summarize it under 2 major headings.
Right.
And the first one is, number 1, when you have a job loss, you're a victim of a job loss, clearly you're in crisis. You are traumatized.
Yes.
Like I said to you, I didn't know how to handle it. The first 1 week, 2 weeks of my job loss, even as a single person, as a young unmarried person. The second time, it wasn't as bad because I'd lost my job before, so I know that job loss is a crisis and you need to go through that. The second time, I was helped by the support of my wife. Okay? For the first time, it was me alone. So the first thing I'll advise is you need to seek post-trauma biblical counseling. You need to talk to someone who knows about how to deal with issues in God. If you don't know of anyone, put a call through to me. I'll be able to provide you with a biblical counseling. My numbers are there. The emails are there. We'll be really glad to help you. That's why we're here. Second thing, you need to build a support system, or you need to leverage on the support system of friends around you. Friends and well-intentioned relationships that you have built over the years. If you are married, for instance, that's the time for you to actually get the wisdom of your spouse. If you're not married, you need to get the wisdom of friends, well-meaning friends who love you, who care about you, who also in the time of this crisis may be helpful and willing to give you some financial contributions and handouts and so on, because you need it. Some people are out of job for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. They've exhausted their savings. Trading is not good. How did they survive? So we need the help of friends and good, well-intentioned relationships. Yeah.
I think we're going to have to, if you don't mind, I think I would like
Well,
to
if you have time for me, I will be willing to break it down.
Let's break down.
Loaves of burger bread.
Loaves of burger bread.
They come in small pieces now.
And then you told us that whatever we don't use, we can eat. So
Absolutely. Let's eat everything up.
Eat everything right now.
Well, I'll say number one, let me just say, probably 8 things. Number one, you need to let go and let God. It has happened. It has happened. It's not at the end of your world. You can come out of it a better person. I went through 2 job losses. I came out of it a better person because God was with me and is still with me. No grudges. Okay? Although I can tell you something, my first boss, I still felt pain in my heart towards him. My father, we actually met about 15, 20 years after. And I said to my wife, that is the guy that fired me. But the truth of the matter is, you need to let it go. Let go and let God. Talk to God. Okay? Get some helpful resources, books, inspirational material that can help you, and read them regularly so you can occupy your time. Especially for those who have built their lives around their jobs, okay? Get a new support system in God. Build around books. All those books you bought over the years, it's time for you to read them.